K9 just trying to hold this border as Divine is going to go for a full press down the hill. NBS, the last man standing from NIP, is Cloud9 picking up a ton of kills on the edge of the zone, one after the other, and Divine will take down and finish NBS as Na'Vi and NIP are both finished off. And now Divine throwing nades downhill. Moody will go down first. K9 and Nerf now having to react. The AK getting up close, the K9, K9 just moving up the side. Divine, I think, has the advantage here. This is now not looking good for Cloud9. They're just pushing this top side of the hill. Now Nerf, the last man standing, he's going to have to back off and prone just to try and save a little bit of time, but Nerf will be finished off, and just like that, Divine, in one fell swoop, takes down all of Cloud9 and cleans up the shooting range side with 7 kills.
This was the overwhelm that Cloud9 should have been worried about the entire time. They did a good job gatekeeping the western side, but they let someone slip through. McClutch actually came out of shooting range. Divine haven't spotted him just yet. It's only going to be a matter of seconds if they're not so focused on getting inside the circle. You need to stay quiet. But Divine, a very good job just pushing up from that hill. I'm honestly surprised that no one else tried to take that hill from them.
Well, I mean, I think it was just their control. They came in from that northern side, kind of slow and quiet. Everyone rotated around the southern portion of the shooting range. McClutch having to hold his breath a little bit. He doesn't have much distance to cover to get to the zone, but he has all of Divine all around him.
They're bodyguards.
And just like that, we move over to M19, finding themselves tangled up with FaZe. Fuzzface backing it off a little bit, throwing the defensive nade. In return, is it a smoke? Is it a regular frag? I guess we'll find out. Looks like it was a frag grenade. 8C going down to Drayden on the high side by the shelter. They having still OMG in the shelter behind them. As M19 having to back off a little bit as the Knights getting involved. And FaZe is in a precarious position here in the low ground. I believe they finished the res, so they're still 4 strong. I'm not entirely sure if OMG is still underneath them or what's exactly happening here. They have to be, right?
They are. I don't know why they're not trying to pressure Knights, though, because if they tried to attack from below, Knights would be caught between 2 edges, the above ground third partying and then OMG right below them, but OMG are too scared to go on that aggressive, or they're comfortable just letting the Knights basically be their bodyguards and wait for them to deal with everything. But
we lost McClutch. We lost him. He did get one down and no finish, but FaZe is still defending against the Knights. Shadow in his shack, having been there for quite some time now, not having to do too much, as Yenti will take down Texas, so now it's a bit of a war of attrition here, Cameron.
You see some third-party action from Divine, who've been able to push down, as you see in the mini-map, but there we go.
Oh my god, the Knights don't seem to care that much about the fact that OMG is just living in their hut. So there's 2 down here. This is a problem for the Knights. How did they let this happen? What is happening? Oh my god, OMG is just coming out of the hole and they're destroying the Knights. How did the Knights, how did you let this happen to you? OMG has been down here for so long, they pop up and take down 3 from the Knights.
I mean, maybe the OMG they didn't do anything for so long. Knights
just forgot about them?
Yeah, just either forgot about them. They're like, well, I guess they're never going to attack. We have too much distracting us on this for the north of us. But you need at least one person watching that way, or like a consistent smoke there if you have the resources to utilize. And that just decimates the Knights. They're already taking so much damage. And this gives a really good opportunity for Divine to push in, because Knights were their biggest threat, trying to push in from the western side. Other than, of course, M19 and FaZe, the long distance, or Kramer.
No, dude. This is horrible for the Knights and the mole people. OMG has come out to the sewers and are just wreaking havoc on the Pittsburgh Knights. With Kramer just desperately holding on. This has got to be frustrating for them, as they just lost track of what was happening, I imagine. We saw them fighting earlier, and OMG hasn't moved that much. So an unfortunate start. Maybe here we go. Let's go, Kramer. He's kind of stuck on the edge as an unfortunate turn of events for the Knights just goes really far south. Clouds will be rezzed as the Knights are finished off by the men from underground, OMG, and Divine have, in your acute opinion, have taken a great position up at the top of this hill now. OMG is basically stuck down there. They've got some loot, Cameron, but FaZe battling here in the open fields.
FaZe should be doing a lot more damage across this zone if it weren't for M19, and they're having just to trade blows back and forth. Mixie lost his helmet, still has a vest, which is very rare this late into the game.
So this is now going to be a matter of movement here, as FaZe taking a lot of punches, a lot of damage on there, and M19 slowly trying to crawl it in. This is looking good for Divine. Divine. They do have a significant gear advantage, and they have position in the zone. Good map control as well. Not a lot of cover to work with. OMG picking up some much-needed supplies from the down Knights players. But it looks like Divine is going to have to just crawl their way along the low side of this ridge. Ooh, barely dodging. We've seen that. That Scoom just has PTSD somewhere right now. Empty vehicles rolling across fields. But that's looks like no one is going to get wiped from that in a embarrassing fashion. So
Still crawling in.
they're just crawling it in. I mean, Divine with 8 total kills.
Because they still, even though they don't have a lot of good position from this spot, the fact that they still have 4 up, under the assumption that FaZe and M19 are going to deal some damage to each other trying to leave that spot, they are in a position to get a good high placement, if not the win. And it's all dependent on who these other teams on this edge, if they're going to impact each other that much or not. M19, they want to spread a little bit away from FaZe. They don't want to commit too much to that engagement, and especially because the next circle has swung down to the south, it puts them in a spot to actually punish FaZe if FaZe rotates.
Will Divine use this car, I wonder? I mean, they have a UAZ there. They can kind of roll into this field.
They're in the circle. They're on the edge, but they're in the circle.
So they have cover. I mean, it's there. There's not a lot of it, but really they have a decent line of sight. If FaZe needs to push forward just like that, Levis with a very nice reaction time there, just trying to put some shots onto FaZe, who have been battered so far. M19 on the parallel flank there. OMG is a little bit above them, and it looks like FaZe is going to take it first to M19, taking down and finishing example. And just like that, Yempty's actually taking a very aggressive position in the zone here, leaving Fuzzface behind with Mixie. And he's, we've seen this in the past from FaZe, where they'll have one guy on a super wide flank, and when M19 feels like they can maybe put some pressure, Yempty will pop up and do something here. But MMLS is taking down and finishing Mixie in the back line. This is actually looking pretty good for OMG, considering the fact that they've spent most of this game underground. This is a very tough position here for FaZe. Fuzzface is getting peppered from all sides. Shadow has emerged from his shack, immediately being met by M19. Yempty will finish him off, and Tuons will take down Shadow. Fuzzface, the last man standing, will take some shots, maybe to sneak away. It's actually OMG finishing M19 at long distance. Fuzzface getting the final kill there. And just like that, we're down to the top 3. OMG getting sprayed down by Divine. This is looking good for Divine with 4 strong and 9 kills. They've got total map control, and they've got the zone as well, as this is the final circle. Divine having almost no opposition so far as MMLS goes down to the zone. FaZe is scattered to the wind, and this is looking like Divine's game.
Fuzzface is getting the revive on Gemty, so that gives them 2 people to continue to fight this. But you can look on the minimap, Divine have 2 people right on their position. FaZe, it looks like they're so preoccupied with OMG, who have been really loud the whole time, though.
They got 2 reses too there, did OMG.
OMG, yeah, they're still 3 up, but this entire time, Divine, they're going on their own pincer maneuver that FaZe did to win out last game, and Jet dropping XXP again.
I was gonna say, if Divine doesn't try and finish off FaZe, the Bush Hunter's going. Now only Yempty left standing, and it will be Divine finishing off FaZe, securing 2nd place, and this is looking all Divine all the time, as OMG is trying desperately to survive, but it's just not gonna happen. Divine Esports take game number 2 with 14 total kills. Terrific game from Divine, but really for OMG, after being trapped underground for the entirety of that game, coming out and finishing off the Knights, that was a very nice 2nd place finish.
Divine, I mean, I'm going to put myself on blast, and I told you this after last game, they really they did not impress at all when they showed up at Star Ladder.
Right.
And so when I said after the last game it was a good job, but can they repeat that, or was that just the nature of the position that they ended up finding themselves in? It looks like they can repeat it. They stormed down from that hill